Hello and welcome to another game of Dota 2. You are watching a StarLadder match. That's right, you're watching StarLadder now, not particularly Star Series, because it's a combined Star Series Pro Series match. As this is the relegation, it is going to be 4 teams in total fighting for 2 spots in Star Series, and all 4 teams will play one best out of 3 against one of the other series. So we're going to have right now Team 6 from Pro Series taking on Duza Gaming from Star Series. Duza was the newcomer in Star Series in Season 7. They had a really good showing, but because there are so many good teams, we are still seeing them here in the bottom of Star Series and therefore up against the top of the Pro Series. Also, for people wondering, I am not quite sure if this match has an enabled Star Series ticket, as there was no admin available apart from the Russian caster, obviously, that was also doing the adminning for this match. So I'm not 100% sure if you get items by watching this match. You can check by checking if this game is indeed in the ticket. If you can watch it in the game client via the ticket, then you get items on the stream as well. That's how it works. But let's see first who we have here, because I have casted Team 6 before. Yep. They were up against a team that was called after an STD at that time, which was kind of funny, as you might imagine. But right now we're gonna see them again, so they are still doing really well. They're still on the top of Pro Series. Last time, obviously, they didn't make it through, otherwise we would have seen them already in Season 6. But they didn't make it through, and right now we'll see if they make it through this time, or if Duza is gonna take it away from them and is gonna once again have a shot in Star Series Season 8, which will of course start like in a month from now or so. We have got well, a bit of a surprise from my part. I mean, a surprise of the bans are not really there, apart from that IO got ignored for the first 4, and also ignored for the first 4 picks. So we've got Envisage and an OD banned out together with a Bat and a Naga Siren. Then Duza picked up the Darkseer and the Alchemist, with Sex going for Nyx Assassin and Weaver. And now, the one thing that I'm confused about, or not confused about, the surprise about in this case is, you know, you're playing a best of 3, fair enough. So maybe, you know, you don't want to show like your core picks just yet. I want to first see what kind of team you're dealing with. But I was kind of expecting to see a Nature's Prophet and a Doom on Duza's side, because they normally play with those. They don't really often play with the Rubik. They play a lot with Nyx Assassin and with Visage, both who are not available anymore. And the other 2 are, of course, then the Doom and the Nature's Prophet. And both of these roles are now already fulfilled with Capron, with MIB the Best playing as Darkseer and Limbo on the Alchemist. So we're just needing to have a mid hero and something for Capron to play, or Unstable, whichever one takes on the Rubik. For Team 6, we've got 2 strong picks though. I mean, a Nyx Assassin and a Weaver, you can do anything with those 2 basically. You can run aggressive trial lanes, safe trial lanes, you can run any of them mid. It's a very open draft, I like that. We've got a Jakiro and a IO being banned out for last one from Sex. So no surprise though, because Jakiro combined up with the Darkseer is pretty scary. And they pick up the Bane themselves, so they have now got their support combination complete, or at least that what we would imagine, having the Nyx Assassin there picked up. Nyx Assassin, Bane. Not a very specific combination, as in you can always set something up with a Bane, of course, but they don't really necessarily work amazingly well together. They don't have a particular synergy to be thinking of here. We've got ourselves so far only a Rubik on Duza. Now they like to use the Enchantress. It kind of depends on if they would be shutting themselves in the foot though, because this is with the Steel Bane and Nyx Assassin, this could potentially be an aggressive trial lane, and you don't really want to go for a jungle hero if you're going to be up against an aggressive trial lane. You rather want to be having something that can deal with your heroes now, or that can keep your heroes safe. And Rubik on itself is a very good hero to keep heroes safe. I mean, Telekinesis, Fate Bolt, you can all use that to keep your carry safe. And of course, there's more heroes to do that. Wouldn't mind seeing a Crystal Maiden if they wanted to fight a trial lane, perhaps. But otherwise, Enchantress would still be a big pickup. Now, one thing that I'm kind of curious about is because we have seen a bit of an insurgence for well, there's your Enchantress right there. We have seen a bit of an insurgence for the Elder Titan, and I'm kind of curious to see if these teams are going to try him out. But of course, Elder Titan normally wants to have something that he combines up with. In this case, it would be a Darkseer Alchemist for Duza, so potentially they want to put a mid. It could be possible still. I mean, works very neatly together though. By the way, one thing I also want to point out is that Sex actually picked up Bane into a Rubik, so they know that that Rubik is going to try to steal that Fiend's Grip.
5 seconds remaining.
Gonna have ourselves the Clockwork and the Abaddon ban out, by the way, by Duza, so they remove random Sarah supports from the pool. And an offlaner for Duza as well, removed by Clockwork. And I mean, there's still plenty of offlaners in the pool. And now with the anti-mage picked up, this starts to look like Weaver offlane. Could still be a Weaver mid, obviously. Nyx Assassin mid with a tree jungling, and putting that Weaver on the offlane with Living Armor is of course a very strong combination as well, and that's something that Duza doesn't want to face, so they ban out that tree. Because we only need one more hero for Sex, and because they've got such a versatile lineup, like Nyx and Weaver can both be running mid. We can have Weaver offlane, we can have an aggressive trial lane with Anti-Mage in the safe lane. It's all still very possible. So that's kind of making it difficult for Duza to ban out anything else but the tree here, because they just don't want to be having that risk that you cannot kill the offlaner from your enemy team, because Living Armor is such a pain to deal with. Got ourselves the Shadow Fiend banned out by Sex. I mean, if we look at this lineup for Duza, of course, you're gonna expect something still needs to be picked up for Limbo. No, not for Limbo, because Limbo is gonna play the Alchemist mode likely, but for Legion, who is playing, of course, normally the solo mid for Duza. And they go for the troll. I like the troll. I have to say, I mean, I like him best when combined up with a support Spirit Breaker. But Enchantress, one thing that, I mean, if you see a very farmed Enchantress, I already changed the stream name, I thought. Let me check that again. Ugh, I didn't. Okay, sorry. Let me change it, sorry people. StarLadder Relegation matches. StarLadder Regulation. Duza versus Sex, followed by Spera versus Life. Exclamation mark. Update. I thought I updated this already. Bad words in status? That's why. Oh, I cannot use sex in a Twitch chat title? In a Twitch chat. I cannot use that. Okay, so how do I do that? I'm just gonna call it TS. Team Sex. I thought I updated it, and that's why. Okay, fair enough. Sorry for overlay, I know that. Holy cow, I really, that's why I thought I updated it, because I actually did, and then, oh god, well, surprise. Prudes on Twitch, who knew? Anyways, I can call it Team Intercourse. That would be funny. I wonder if that's considered a bad word. Anyways. Let's take a look at what we have here, who is playing what. I don't think it's gonna come as anyone's surprise that Duza has Capron playing Enchantress. We have got Unstable on the Rubik. Already having a smoke in the inventory, by the way, so this is going to be a very aggressive Enchantress. We'll see what he does. Limbo will take on his Alchemist, no surprise there, as Limbo will Legion rather will take on the Troll Warlord. They always mess those two up, and look at that. Getting pulled by Capron, good guy Capron. And he is going for the fastest bottle that you can think of. Well, not really, you can also always buy it at the start, that would be the fastest. But yeah. MMB the best will play the offlane, will play the Darkseer, and will be up against a very difficult lane for him, to be honest, because it's gonna be a dual disabled lane. On top of that, if he gets his mana burn during those disables, he cannot surge himself away, so I'm gonna expect him to just rotate into the jungle, because if he's gonna get caught at once, he is gonna die. Team Coitus. Okay, so let's take a look at Team Sex, because, I mean, we haven't seen those guys in a while, and I have to say, my memory is apparently not that good that I actually remember how they did. I do know that the games were fun to watch, but that was mostly because they were up against into quartz. Oh, and I did pick up the Elder Titan last, by the way, so that's gonna be that one, and I was looking forward to this one, as I mentioned during the draft, but I got just confused by changing the title. Sorry, distracted rather. So we have No Fear, and he'll be playing the Elder Titan, and he is gonna have a pretty tough time. I mean, there's gonna be quite some harassment coming out of him, and even though he has got a spear to harass with and get extra attack damage so he can throw out some punches, he has to be careful not to get caught out. Because there's also 2 disables on this tri lane of Duza. But he is actually an offlaner that is hanging out on the lane, while of course the offlaner of Duza is hanging out in the jungle. Let's take a look mid. We have got ourselves Manuel Valsa Gopaka. I'm gonna call him Gopaka, because that's the easiest name. Gopaka is gonna be playing that Weaver. If someone tells me that I'm playing a... I'm saying a wrong word in some kind of language, let me know, but Gopaka is playing the Weaver. He'll be playing mid as, well, not expected, but as said. He could potentially do that and play that role, and he's gonna do it up against the Troll Warlord, and he can do that. I mean, this is a fairly decent matchup for Weaver. He won't be getting hit that much, but he should not die. Oh, look at that, he walks right into the harassment. That's actually not all that good. Disconnect from Darkseer. Gonna have to wait until he's back, but that gives me time to introduce the rest, because we have got Book, or Boo, playing the Bane. And on the top lane, or also on the top lane I should say, we're gonna have a Heart playing the Anti-Mage, and a useless piece of shit playing the Nyx Assassin. I'm gonna call him UPS. So UPS is playing on the Nyx Assassin then, and that's gonna be our lineup. So already Darkseer, he's just stacking. He is gonna be fine. And Elder Titan looking for that 2-minute rune, seeing if you can find him. And as I imagine, there's not gonna be Dota TV for this one. I did turn my microphone on. I will ask for the next game from the admin if he can turn it on, if it's possible for him to turn it on. Because you have to have, of course, a specific admin ticket. But we'll find out. I mean, Gopaka sitting on 8-2. Legion 5-1. So actually Gopaka getting ahead here. I don't think it will last very long, especially with the harassment already done to the Weaver. He will be forced to use his salve, and you know, he has got a lot of gold. He could potentially go for a bottle. I don't think he will though, but I mean, he has to have some form of regen if he wants to try and do this every time and walk into the Whirling Axis, because that's not really going to be a fun thing to do. You kind of can't run into Whirling Axis. It's just not done. And for people that joined me halfway, I will once again explain the whole idea between or about relegation matches. I keep saying that wrong. Relegation matches. So as you know, the group stages have ended. The group stages of Star Series, that is. And the bottom 4 of Star Series is in a bit of trouble. The bottom 4, well, the bottom 2 get dropped to Pro Series regardless. Like, no questions asked. No second chances. They get dropped out of Star Series into Pro Series, which is basically the rank below Star Series. The number 13 and 14, which is going to be the 2 above the bottom 2. So there's 16 teams in total in Star Series. But the number 13 and 14, they have to play up against the number 3 and 4 of Star Series. Pro Series, rather. Wow, said that wrong. But we have Aspera and Duza. Those 2 teams were the number 13 and 14 of Star Series, and they have to fight for their spot. Now, if they win their best of 3 today, they will be able to still go to Star Series next season, but they have to win their best of 3. Now, of course, Sex as well as Life, those 2 teams have worked their ass off in the previous season without anybody watching, but they played in Pro Series, and they played and they performed good because they reached the top of their series. They reached the top of Pro Series, and if you do that, then you are allowed to play up against the number 13 and 14 of Star Series to prove your worth and to show that you are actually the right team for filling in that spot. The right team for taking part in Star Series. Season 8, of course, is what we're talking about, because Season 7 for group stages and for these teams is already over. Season 7, that is. As we have, we're waiting for the reconnect of Elder Titan before we're going to continue on. But he's reconnected, and we are gonna go. So yes, that's gonna be the relegation matches. That's why these games are being played. It's to fill the spot that is left by these teams. And the question is, will Duza get it back? They showed some great games in Star Series, I have to say. I was impressed with their performance. Normally you have got a pretty clear view of who are the good teams and who are the bad teams in Star Series. And I mean, that's basically the way it's gone in the later last seasons. Let's see if No Fear is going to be in some trouble right now, because he's going to have a stun on his head. In comes the center as well. He will be in time for another disable if he wants to, and then snare can come out from the troll as well. He gets in a snare. In comes the stomp. That's the first blood right there. Capron taking it home. Enchantress, very happy girl right now. Very rich girl also. And might try to go for this again. I mean, nah, No Fear has got... I mean, this is the great thing about having an Estor Spirit. You can scout her out a bit, but I mean, if you're gonna get caught out like that, then you're probably in a bit of a trouble. And we already saw No Fear being in that. But yeah, as said, I mean, normally in Star Series it's a bit more uneven in terms of results at the end. And this time in Star Series that actually came down for a lot of things, especially for the bottom. Apart from the bottom two, the rest was all counted by head-to-head, so the results versus opponents, and in the end it was Duza and Espera that were the lowest of those two, so it's kind of a shame for them. They perform well, they've had some good games, good results. Look at Legion, so harassed here. 14 for 3 for him, as we have the Weaver sitting on 17 for 3, so still slightly ahead. In the meantime, a push comes out in the top. Which is interesting, because these heroes are not really all that pushy, if you will. These heroes are anything but pushy. They're mostly single target. Of course, an Impale is not single target. UPS, you cannot tank that tower for too long. They want to preserve their siege creep, by the way. That's why they did that. Share the tower hits for a bit. See how far they get, as UPS will go for the creep block, seeing if the creeps will be allowed to take care of the tower. His creeps that is. We have a smoke up, Capron. By himself with a couple of creeps. He has got another, well, Centaur is about to disappear, but he's got another troll. And that's of course one of the best creeps that you can think of, because he's got an ensnare and he's got extra forces. Extra forces are awesome. Question is, where is he gonna go? I mean, he can't really go mid because they don't have detection. Unless they think they can kill him off in the duration of the ensnare, but that's not really possible. In comes an Alchemist Stun, is gonna be forcing No Fear already back. He realized that was going on, so he's not gonna get caught out. The Spirit comes out. It does, I think it did scout that it picked up 2 of those skeletons with the damage of it. He is completely out of mana now, though. I really would like to see Capron move behind the tower and they could just push it in, but didn't go for it in the end. In the meantime, mid has a gank going on. Legion, Whirling Death, Whirling Axis, not gonna happen. That's gonna be Nyx Assassin. With the Spike Carapace, actually, the Whirling Axis kinda killed himself, I guess. He hit himself with it, with the Spike Carapace. Nice gank put up by Book and UPS. Very nicely done. Solid rotation, putting Gopaka even more ahead of this mid lane. 29 to 5 right now for him, while the Troll is sitting on 24 to 3. It's not that far behind right now, obviously, but it's still it's a substantial difference enough that we can actually say that Weaver, especially combined with that kill, is getting ahead near in this lane. And of course, the entire thing about the supports being able to rotate is because the anti-mage doesn't really need any help. They did force the Darkseer out of the jungle to sit here, because otherwise, of course, they would be in danger of having their tier 2 tower getting picked off, and you don't really want that. So they force him out of the jungle, put him on the lane, but if there's no supports around, that's actually not too bad for the Darkseer. Darkseers overall should be quite confident in their ability to get a lot of farm because of the Iron Shell, of course, and the ability to tank creeps because he did pick up a shield. He has to only be careful about those supports. If he realizes those 2 supports are missing, he is in danger. If he moves up right now, he would be in danger, because you don't know if they are coming behind the tower. Behind the used-to-be tower, I should say. And therefore he backs off. I mean, there's not that much vision right now on the map for Duza at all. They've got one ward, which is standing right here. But that's the only one that they have. They do have 2 new sentry or observers in Rubik's inventory, sentries as well, but there's no wards up for Sex either. Sex is still wordless. Oh my god, the puns that I can make with this. They got no protection. Yep, that's what I came up to in my mind. Anyway, Legion might actually die from this double damage rune. He's gonna try to chase us. In comes a TP. Rubik might be able to lift him in time. Is it TP fast enough? The time lapse is at least fast enough to get him away from that Rubik. But Legion lives. Rubik comes in to defend the tower. Of course, Darkseer was around the corner just in case it was needed, but in the end, no, not needed. Limbo in the meantime. 1800 gold in his inventory. Looks to be going for a fast Shadow Blade. No Hand of Midas for him. No Hand of Midas for anybody just yet, I believe. Not gonna be having a farm heavy game, or at least we hope we aren't. Yeah, it's a bad amount of pun. I'm sorry. I'll try to keep to a minimum. Oh well. Yeah, Bane, level 4. Which is nice. Well, it's 8 minutes into the game. It's nice enough, level 4, but it's probably a little bit lower than you would want it to have. Same thing goes for the Nyx Assassin, though with this grip wave, you will get level 5. But both the Bane as well as the Nyx Assassin are truth supports that are fairly level dependent. And that's why they're actually sharing experience. Sometimes you see teams go for giving one support more experience than the other, purely because one support's ultimate is more useful than the other. But that's not the case for this one. Now, Sable sitting at level 4 as well, almost level 5, but also a hero that kind of needs level 6. Enchantress is level 5 though. I mean, he is getting experience in the jungle by himself, and on top of that, of course, I mean, he was there for the kill that was done. Of course, Unstable and Limbo were there for it as well, but still, 2500 gold up on Limbo. I mean, he's doing really well. Not doing as well as the Anti-Mage though. Anti-Mage is sitting on 69 to 8. Well, Limbo is sitting on 59 to 18. So a bit more than nice for Limbo, but a lot more last hits for the Anti-Mage, almost 10. Which is pretty impressive, because as we're reaching that 10-minute mark, I mean, 82 is the maximum amount of last hits you can get in 10 minutes. And normally that's tough enough to do when you're knowing that, you're keeping your lane equilibrium and everything like that. But when you also push down the tower, that's pretty damn impressive if you can do it that way. And look at this, he barely missed any last hits. In the meantime, rotation coming bottom. In comes the Nightmare, setting up for a stun upon Limbo. Collab comes in as well. He's still aiming to stun himself, by the way, and looks like he will indeed do exactly that. In also comes Gopaka, down goes Limbo here. Whirling Axis might be keeping him alive. He actually is running away from this one. No, Shakushi comes in. That's going to be a kill right there. In the meantime, Nyx Assassin went down as well. And maybe No Fear will be next. There we go. That's going to be MIB coming in with the rotation, making it happen. And a buyback actually from Limbo. I mean, it's a very cheap buyback. You only paid like 350 gold for it. And to be fair, with maxed out Grievous Greed, he can actually get back from that. By the way, he only missed max 5 last hits. This is impressive farming from heart. He will lose the tower on the bottom lane though. He will. In comes the Battle Trance. In comes the Stomp as well. It's up on 2, but no follow-up this time, or is there? No follow-up. He calls the Spirit back.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
MIB level 7. I mean, we can compare this to the Elder Titan. Elder Titan who's died twice, who's got 14 last hits, who's level 5, so level-wise he's gotten some decent levels for an offlaner that can't rotate into the jungle. But he is still fairly behind compared to that Darkseer. Question is which will be having a bigger impact, because Elder Titan is also a fairly big teamfight hero. He set up a lot of kills if he gets that Astral Spirit off, that Stomp. And of course Earth Splitter, not to forget that one. But Darkseer overall, just the overall control hero. Limbo still not buying anything with his gold. Now normally when we see him play the Alchemist, he's actually going for still for the Shadow Blade. We could be kind of surprised if he didn't go for it right now. But there's of course always a possibility that he does something different. Let's see. Does he buy anything? No, Shadowblade it is. Thank you very much for keeping it, you know, the same thing as we're expected from him. Alchemist charging up a stun, going for UPS, and he throws it out just in time. In comes a Battle Trance as well as the Fate Bot and the Telekinesis. That's gonna be a nice kill. Nice good pickup for Duza, and of course the first pickup where Sex was able to see the Shadowblade. God, the puns. Oh, yeah, never mind. Capron doing really well for himself actually. He has got that urn already, of course. He's got 2 charge in as well. And now the mechanism ready up on the Darkseer. This starts to look like Duza is about ready to fight. No, Anti-Mage has got his Battle Fury as well, and he has a very fast one. And now Treads as well. Treads and Battle Fury at 13 minutes is very good. And we see him sitting way ahead of net worth as well. Of course, Tower last hit does help with that. But he didn't get any kills. And he's up against an Alchemist that has Grievel's Greed maxed out. And they're actually going to try to go for this. In comes an Impale, the Shadowblade. No, here comes a Dust, and that's going to be a kill. But this is an Alchemist that should be having more farm than what he has. I mean, it's great that he has got maxed out Grievel's Greed, and he's got a Shadowblade, and he should be able to be more aggressive right now than the Anti-Mage is. But if he gets picked off like this, it's not going to end well. And they should be trying to do something with their items right now, because they are a team that has the upper hand at this moment, or should be having the upper hand, I say, as in comes UPS, goes for a Spike Carapace, up on 3, still ends up going down, but the Earth Splitter up on 2, Capron already dead, unstable, able to get himself away. In comes a TP, Alchemist, wants to try and help out, Tower still going down, Limbo looking for No Fear, might be able to pick him up. It's a level 8 one though, I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. It is going to be enough, there we go, with some help from his friends. And Weaver still picks up the Rubik because he could. Walking past him like it's nothing. Gopaka sitting at 3-0-1. Has been involved in 4 out of the 5 kills that his team has done. Is doing incredibly well. And I mean, this is already, without the Anti-Mage really mixing into fights, that they're holding their own. In comes the Impale. Up on only creeps. Well, that's a bit of a shame. Dust still comes out though. Limbo in a lot of trouble. Mana Void won't kill him off because he got too much mana, but it doesn't matter. Weaver comes in with a Shakushi MIB. Still running for it. Has not got another surge just yet. Gets Fiend's Grip and killed off. It's not over yet by the looks of it. Oh, but for Legion it is. TPs himself out. In comes the Sentry Ward. Capron slowing him down. Doing a bit of damage, but there's still time left. Should he really be in danger? He doesn't feel like he's in danger. Legion actually didn't TP home. He went to TP towards his bottom lane. He needs more before he can fight. He needs to have his BKB ready, and maybe even his Helm of the Dominator. He's going to be in trouble beforehand though. The clap misses, but Legion so very low. Now gets bugs on him and goes down to Gopaka. Look at that. From 10k in favor of Duza, Sex just takes it back and got 4k in total, with now making it of course 2k in their favor in terms of gold. Tower will not go down today, or at least not yet. Clap misses. In comes UPS, looking for Vendetta, looking for an Impale. Can't find Limbo at the moment though. Limbo just looking to deny the tower, doesn't get it in the end, and now tries to run for it. I don't think he'll run far though. There's no way he can run far with that Impale and a Brain Step coming out from Book. Bit of an awkward Earth Splitter, but doesn't matter. Better safe than sorry. 4 heroes here of Sax on this bottom lane. Oops. Still all tier 2 towers standing though for Duza, but they're kind of behind on tier 1s at the moment. They only got 1 tier 1 down of their own. Well, Sex has taken now 3 already. And now already with the Yasha up on the Anti-Mage, this is a ticking time bomb for Duza, and it's ticking faster and faster by every tower that goes down. And look at this, level 14 Anti-Mage up against the highest level of... Oh, time lapse away! Highest level of Duza is level 11 Troll. I mean, the Alchemist is still level 10 even. And he has a Shadowblade. You'd expect him to try and be more aggressive with it, but he just can't. He just doesn't have any openings. Who's he gonna kill off, right? Telekinesis, they know time-lapse is on cooldown. Can they take him down? The ensnare comes out as well as the Fate Bolt. The Axis won't reach though. Impetus neither. In comes a Collapse. Up on 2. Vendetta, Impale, up on 2. MIB and Legion both go down. Unstoppable. Fiend's Grip Capron. Down he goes. Double kill for this Weaver right now. This Weaver Gopaka is going crazy. 7-0 to 4. Doing immensely well. He's now got a Yasha for himself, which is a pretty unusual build for a Weaver. Normally you see them going for, well, basically defensive items. So you go for a BKB, you go for a Lincoln's, or at least one of the two, as we now have got a smoke up. They want to try and take down Limbo. I think they can as well. The dust comes out, the clap is done, and that's going to be another kill. Gopaka again. Bane not even needed to break smoke. Looking now for the tier 2 tower mid. I mean, the tier 2 top already went down earlier. And Duza has to do something fast if they want to try and do something. Here comes another Impale. Capron tries to get healed up again, but it actually works. It is Sex that back off. Sex does not want action at the moment. A book clearing sentry wards. Clearing 2 sentry wards with 1, by the way. That's pretty nice. It means that you spend 100 gold, where your enemy spent 200. That's a win for a support. Manta style ready up on this anti-mage. Sitting at 682 gold per minute and ticking, because it's still going up. I mean, he's got more than double the amount of gold as an alchemist with Grievel's Greed that had almost free farm on that bottom lane for quite some time. Limbo. Just not doing as well as he probably should have. Of course, he did die 5 times, so that kind of doesn't really help. Ooh, Weaver looks for some pickups, wants to go for unstable. Can he actually do that? Yes, he can. Yes, he can. And he can Shakushi himself out as well. Doesn't feel in danger just yet. Capron will go down as well. In comes the Alchemist. Wants to go for the Weaver. Weaver still has a time lapse, though. Doesn't even need it. Down goes the Alchemist. Down goes the Weaver still. Darkseer able to make that happen. But it's a GG. This was game 1 only, though. We are watching a best of 3 between Duza and Sex. And one of these 2 teams will take on the Star Series plot that Duza has up for grabs. One of these 2 teams. And of course we're going to see another best of 3 after this one between Espera and Life to also fight for that 1 slot. But we'll first see game 2 of Duza versus Sex for StarLadder Star Series relegation matches. Can't really say a season because it's in between season. It's from season 7 to season 8. But let's jump ourselves into the second game. We'll be right back.